Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Marilyn Lau, and I am with the USC Viterbi School of Engineering Admission and Student Engagement team. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's Spotlight series, where we will highlight our Master of Science in Health Systems Management Engineering program. I am joined today by our program director of this program, Dr. David Belson, who will be sharing information on the program with you all, and he is also here to answer any questions that you might have. So before we get started, I do want to mention that we will be sending out a copy of today's presentation slides. There is a lot of information that we will be going through, so there is no need for you to jot down the information if you don't need them right away. It does take us around 1 to 2 business days to get that email out. So we do thank you for your patience in advance. And for those of you who are watching this webinar at a later time, please note that the content is from October 14th, 2024. And we always recommend for you to visit our website for the most updated information. In terms of asking questions, we do highly encourage you to ask any questions that you have during the session by typing it in the Q&A instead of the chat function. It does allow us to, monitor and respond to the questions a lot easier as they come through. But, we will be leaving some time at the end of the session for you to ask your questions and for Dr. Belson to answer them. Today's program, I will be going through giving you a bit of information about the USC Viterbi School of Engineering, and then we're going to hand it over to Dr. Belson to talk about the Health Systems Management Engineering program and some frequently asked questions that we do get. And then I'll go ahead and take you guys through the different delivery method and enrollment options that we offer within the Viterbi School of Engineering. And then we'll go ahead and conclude with a Q&A session. For those of you who are not familiar with our academic institution, the University of Southern California, we are the oldest private university in the Western United States. So we were founded back in 1880. We do have over 47,000 students and over 4,767 full-time faculty members. So this number here does not include our adjunct faculty members. So if we include our adjunct faculty, the number of our faculty will be a lot higher. Our student population as well is extremely diverse. So, our students come from all different walks of life, and they come from different geography backgrounds, and we are located in Los Angeles. So let's look now at Viterbi School at a glance. So Viterbi School is made up of 8 academic departments. We have over 6,800 graduate students as of fall 2023 data. Our graduate students consist of our master students, both online down at Viterbi and on campus, as well as graduate certificates and doctoral students. The faculty, we have over 213 tenure track faculty members, 16 full-time, 34 total TT/NAE members, and over 100 National Science Foundation Career National Presidential Young Investigator. And then, of course, we have research. So USC Viterbi is a leader in funded research with over 35 research centers in which more than $177 million are invested in research expenditures on an annual basis. So before I hand this off to, Dr. David Belson, I do want to give him, just want to introduce him to everyone who is joining us live and watching this as a recording. So Professor David Belson, he is part of the Daniel J. Epstein Department of Industrial Systems Engineering. He is a program director of the MS in Health Systems Management Engineering program. He has over 32 years of management and consulting experience, and he has taught lean performance improvement at over 100 hospitals. His expertise lies within the public safety net hospitals, private health systems, rural hospitals and clinics, veterans hospitals, mental health systems, as well as conducting a lot of research. So a very warm welcome, Dr. Belson, and thank you again for for joining us today and walking us through this the Health Systems Management Engineering program. So I am going to hand it off to you. Um, Hold on, David. Professor Belson, you are muted.
Oops. Unmuted now. You hear me now, right?
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it's amazing. I've done all those things and I'm only 29 years old. That's a joke. Uh, yeah, I've been working in healthcare for quite a while as an engineer. You might think engineers don't belong in healthcare, but they really do. And it's a vast industry. There's more people employed in healthcare than any other industry in the United States, more people and money spent on healthcare systems than any other industry, and lots of um, job opportunities. I hear not every day, every week, people seeking um, people who graduated from this program. So, as we mentioned, it's part of our industrial and systems engineering department, but we're combining this also with our Keck School of Medicine because it's in the healthcare system area, and the Price School of Public Policy because there's a lot of issues related to policy in terms of healthcare. So it's a combination of schools. It's not purely in engineering, but it's administered by the engineering school. And as you described, it's a engineering school is very large, a lot of faculty, a lot of research going on, which also benefits this program because we have access to expertise in all sorts of areas, both clinical and engineering and policy related. Um, the idea of this degree, it's fairly new, only been in business a few years. The idea is to tackle issues, as it says here, within the healthcare industry. And the healthcare industry's got a lot of issues. I don't know what your experience has been with healthcare, but boy, it's got a lot of problems, particularly in the United States. You may or may not be aware, we have the most expensive healthcare in the world, really. Of the developed countries, our healthcare is the most expensive, and the quality is relatively poor. The outcomes are relatively poor. So there's a lot of work needed um, to make the system work better. And as a list here, there's a lot of things people with this degree get involved in. It largely revolves around making things better for users of healthcare, which is essentially everybody. Um, and that's why there's also good demand for people with this background. Things we get involved in is improving the quality of healthcare. It can be dangerous. And doesn't always work properly. And we work on that as well as performance, keeping costs down, reducing costs, reducing waste, designing systems to provide healthcare better, improving safety, managing projects, improving the value of healthcare. So the degree is directed towards producing people who can work in healthcare. They don't always end up in the same position they start in, but they're involved in making healthcare work better, managing it, improving it, doing research in it, and so on. So you want to go to the next slide? So students in these classes get involved in what I think are really interesting problems, real world things. It's very real. It's not theoretical. It's what's happening maybe to your cells every year. You make demands on healthcare, and it's really something that's important to everyone. There's a couple projects that my students did in the last year. The first one was on supply chain. We work with one of the largest hospitals in the country, and as you may recall, during COVID, there was tremendous shortages of supplies. How do we make a better system so that adequate supplies are there when needed? And so we do projects as part of the curriculum, improvement projects such as in supply chain, which is a common engineering problem, but healthcare has its special wrinkles. We also get involved in clinical activity. The second item, for cancer patients, we worked also with a large hospital where when one contracts and gets a diagnosis of cancer, that's just the first step. There's a lot of visits with doctors, treatments, procedures, what have you. And so the project was to speed that process up. Cancer patients are better off if they receive treatment promptly rather than delays, and there's often delays. The third project, we do a lot of things analyzing data. Healthcare generates a vast amount of data. Healthcare is the largest user of computer systems of any industry. And so students get involved in projects such as this one, where we used AI and data analytics to analyze safety trends at a hospital, so the hospital could know where they better focus their attention. The computer system read the text the nurses and doctors were reporting on different safety problems, and made recommendations, produced a dashboard like you see at the bottom of the screen there. So the kind of things one can get into in healthcare are just vastly different. I've one recent graduate I know is involved in mental health systems. Another involved in policy, helping a government agency figure out what's the best policy. So the industry is pretty broad. It's not just hospitals and doctors' offices. So next slide. Frequently asked questions. Okay, get a lot of questions. So the courses, some of the courses are specific to this program. Some of the courses, as listed here, are industrial engineering courses. Some of the courses are from the medical school, like PM 508 is a course from the Keck School of Medicine. How does healthcare work, basically? What are the components of it? And PM 504, quality in healthcare. Quality is super important in healthcare, as you might imagine. So the medical school provides that class. And then we have classes on improvement systems, project management, computer modeling. There's a number of electives depending on your interest. You may want to get more involved in data analytics, or you want to get more involved in technology, devices, that sort of thing, or you may want to get more involved in leadership and change management. So we have flexibility in terms of the coursework, and there's also electives, as it says there. So next slide. So the academic background of the successful applicant. Well, I think the main thing is to be interested in helping people. I mean, the bottom line of healthcare is helping people live their lives and receive care when they need it in a way they can afford it. And so there's kind of a humanitarian aspect to it. And sometimes we get classes and students involved in health equity as a big issue in healthcare. Again, it's an interest in making things work better. It's an interest in helping people. I mean, there is an engineering aspect to it, so there is some analytic challenges in some of the courses. I'm not going to deny that, which may be something you'd like. I don't know. Typical students, really wide variety here. May have a background in engineering, may have a clinical background, a couple of students, nursing students, some medical students, business background, technology background. So the background isn't always industrial engineering by any means. Could be all sorts of different backgrounds. They need some basic statistics, but beyond that, there isn't a whole lot of requirements, but she'll go over some of that in a later slide. I guess I already mentioned this, the students are interested in helping others. They may be from healthcare or maybe not. They may be IT people or a variety of different backgrounds. But just kind of interested in doing something in this area. And the other thing I might mention is geography. Healthcare is everywhere. Really, any city of any size has hospitals and clinics. Even I do a lot of work with rural hospitals. Even the smallest of towns has a certain amount of healthcare employment, and so it's really kind of geographically anywhere. Let's see. Oh, you want to go over this, Marilyn?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Belson. So in terms of, just going over some of the application requirements for the Master of Science in Health Systems Management Engineering. So individuals do need to have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution. And transcripts do need to be official, so they need to come from the university and it has to be official. So for the application stage, you do need to submit digital official copies. There is no need to submit physical copies. To be competitive, although not a requirement, we do recommend having at least a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. The great news is that the GRE is not required for 2025 for the veterinary graduate degree applications. So, that does include the MS in Health Systems Management Engineering. And the resume is required and a personal statement is required as well. For the Health Systems Management Engineering program, we do highly recommend to submit 3-letter recommendations. And for those of you who are international applicants, you do also need to meet the English language proficiency requirements set by USC and submit your TOEFL or IELTS scores. So, Dr. Belson, what types of job opportunities would you say that graduates of the Health Systems Management Engineering program can expect to pursue?
Yeah, sure. I think I got some examples on the following slide. Yeah, there we go. Pretty wide variety. In terms of the picture there, the woman in the upper left, she just recently, a month or so ago, became the chief operating officer of the UC Irvine Hospital, very large hospital. She previously held a pretty senior position in the Adventist healthcare system. So it can be, the career path can be, in terms of being a leader, an executive in the healthcare system. The guy in the upper right, he is in a government position where he's involved in public health in San Francisco. And so he has a pretty senior position for the county or city of San Francisco. And he tells me when I talked to him a couple of months ago, he uses the skills he learned in this degree program really every day. So it can be in a leadership kind of career. It could be systems kind of consultant improvement. The guy on the lower left has been in working for a large consulting firm. All the bigger consulting firms work in healthcare. Or it could be an analytic position or a management position. The guy in the lower right is kind of a middle manager in a hospital in Central California and just recently finished the degree. He was really rated as the outstanding graduate student last year in our entire department. So again, a lot of job opportunities, different areas, can be in management, can be in consulting, can be specialist in systems improvement. All hospitals have people who focus on that. So there's a variety of different career opportunities. So next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Belson. And why, for individuals who are, joining us live or watching this later, why should they pursue this program instead of a master's in either industrial engineering or biomedical engineering or a non-technical degree such as a master's in health administration?
Well, in terms of the first, whoops.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
This is part of that one, right?
yeah, I guess so. But let me
Yeah,
just
okay.
address these.
Okay.
The first point was why not get a focused degree? Well, but that kind of narrows you down. If you're going to be involved in biotech, fine. This is a little more broad. Some of the students do get into biotech, but it's a little more variety in that kind of situation. In terms of getting a master's in health, master's in health administration, there's some overlap. Ours is focused more on operational improvement, making healthcare work better. We don't particularly get into finance, for example. So it's a little more narrow, focused on improving productivity, whether it's emergency systems or what have you. When the pandemic first hit, I went to get my vaccination at the healthcare system I use, and the manager of the vaccination site was an ex-student. So people get involved in a lot of things, but it's highly focused on operations. How does healthcare work? And so I guess that's how I'd answer those questions.
Thank you, Dr. Belson. And a question is, can I pursue the MS in Health Systems Management Engineering online? So I can go ahead and take over to guide everyone through the different course delivery methods. So the answer to that is yes. We do offer two course delivery methods. One is on campus, which is at USC's campus, and it would be pursued more on a full-time basis. And students can take, between 3 to 4 classes per semester. So they can essentially graduate within 1.5 to 2 years. If you are taking 4 classes per semester and you decide to take summer, it can be possible for you to complete your degree within 1 year as well. For those of you who may be working professionals, and you're working in the industry, such as Dr. Belson said, or you're looking to make a pivot into the healthcare industry and you are going to continue working full time, you can pursue your degree as a online Dana Viterbi student through our online delivery method. Around 80 to 85% of our online students are working professionals, so they tend to take between 1 to 2 classes per semester. So they're studying more on a part-time basis. So on average, they usually complete their degree between 2.5 to 3 years. So for those of you who are interested in our online delivery method, how does Dana Viterbi work? So Dana Viterbi is the Viterbi School of Engineering state-of-the-art proprietary web-based delivery system, and it really enables our students from all over the world to access classes synchronously and asynchronously. So you could watch it live as it's happening, or by streaming in and asking Dr. Belson questions, or you could watch it on demand afterwards. So every lecture is recorded and is uploaded into the archive system. As a Dana Viterbi student, you still view the same lectures as on-campus students, so the content is fresh every semester. You will still participate in highly interactive discussions with your professors. So you'll have interactive discussions with Dr. Belson, as well as with your classmates as well. You will submit homework electronically, and you will take exams at a proctored testing center located either near your home or your work. But if you are living and residing in the LA, Orange, or Ventura counties, then you will take your exams at USC's campus. It is also important to just let you all know that, Dana Viterbi students also have a physical seat in every class that they're enrolled in. So if you live in the LA area and you work in the LA area, but your work schedule opens up and you're like, I want to go and sit in on my lecture. I want to, meet Dr. Belson. You're more than welcome to do so. I'm sure Dr. Belson, loves meeting his students. So you do have the option to attend lectures in person, but it is not a requirement whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd also add that the online students collaborate with the in-person students
Mhm.
on projects and that sort of thing. So they really get the full experience online.
That's really great to hear, Dr. Belson, that they're able to still work with their peers who are on-campus students when it comes to collaboration with projects. So that also really highlights that interactivity that our online students still have, even though they are at a distance. So this slide here just kind of shows you the comparison between a online Dana Viterbi student and a on-campus student. So as you can see, the program admission is the same. You still submit an application and the required materials are the same as well. The course lectures is online with interactivity as an online student, whereas on-campus student is on campus at USC's campus. Having access to the course archives, Dana Viterbi students do have access to this. On-campus students may have access to this if they are enrolled in a DEN class. Assignments, as you can see, the course deadlines are the same, but it's just the delivery of submission is different. Exams is at a proctor location, unless you are residing in the LA, Orange, or Ventura counties, then you will take your exams at USC's campus. Courses per semester, kind of touched upon this earlier. Dana Viterbi students tend to take 1 to 2 classes per semester, whereas on-campus students tend to take 3 to 4. But as you can see, the degree completion requirements is the same. So for the Health Systems Management Engineering program, it would be 28 units. And you do need to have at least a 3.0 GPA or above. So ultimately, when you do complete and finish your degree program, your program, your degree and your diploma is just going to be issued by USC Viterbi. So there will be no indication on there that you are an online student or an on-campus student. Some additional information is that, we do have another enrollment option, which is called limited status. So limited status is a enrollment option that allows strong candidates with an undergraduate degree in engineering, math, or a hard science from a regionally accredited institution to begin coursework before submitting a formal admissions application. But you do need to have a 3.0 GPA. So you can only take a maximum of 12 units as a limited status student, and it can be applied towards your degree program if you are admitted. But being a limited status student, it doesn't guarantee you formal admissions. So, and this is applicable for online Dana Viterbi delivery. So for those of you who are interested in maybe taking a class first, within the Health Systems Management Engineering program in spring 2025, and then you could submit your application for a future, for let's say fall 2025, for example. But you can only take a maximum of 12 units as a limited status student. For those of you who may be supported and reimbursed by your employer, we do offer and have the employer reimbursement deferment program. So this is for students who are supported by company. You can defer payment of up to 90% of tuition until after the semester is over. The program eligibility is that your employer does have to reimburse you for tuition at the end of each term, and your student account has to be current. The program participation requirements, which is required by you, the student, to settle before every semester prior to the settlement deadline date, is to complete and submit your deferment application, pay 10% of tuition, 100% of all fees, and a $100 application fee. And then you would sign and submit your promissory note packet and send it to uscsfs@usc.edu. So you might be wondering, do you offer any scholarships or financial aid? So we do have the Health Systems Management Engineering Scholarship. So this is a scholarship that is available to students who have been admitted to our Master of Science in Health Systems Management Engineering program. So students from backgrounds historically underrepresented in STEM fields are encouraged to apply. The scholarship details is that if you are awarded, you can receive between $10,000 to $50,000 in total towards your tuition and fees while you are enrolled in the program. To be eligible for this scholarship, you do have to reside in the United States, and you do also have to intend to apply your knowledge from this program towards the benefit of U.S. hospitals and healthcare providers. And financial need will be considered. For more information and the application for the Health Systems Management Engineering Scholarship, we do encourage you to visit our website at the Grad Scholarships page for more information and to find the application. In addition, we do have the Dana Viterbi Scholarship, which is for our online Dana Viterbi students. So this is a merit-based scholarship, and it is awarded to outstanding students who are pursuing a master's program fully online through Dana Viterbi. The scholarship details is that it is a partial scholarship ranging from 1 to 4 units of tuition that is available for students who are pursuing a Viterbi master's program fully online and who receive partial or no tuition reimbursement funds from their employer. The funding awarded does have to be utilized within the academic year, and applicants can reapply each academic year for a future scholarship consideration. To be eligible, you do have to have at least a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale from your undergraduate degree and be a newly admitted student or have an application on file. If you're interested in applying for spring 2025, the scholarship deadline is Friday, November 15th, and you can find more information and the application on our website and listed on this page and navigate to the Dana Viterbi Scholarship. In addition, for those of you who may be watching this live or watching this at a later time, and you are a active duty military or veteran, we do have some funding and scholarships available. For those of you who are active duty, we have the USC Viterbi Active Duty Military Scholarship. And this is a partial scholarship ranging from 1 to 4 units of tuition for U.S. active duty military of all military branches. Students who are pursuing a Viterbi master's or graduate certificate program online or on USC's campus, and who receives partial or no tuition reimbursement funds from the military or your employer. The spring 2025 scholarship deadline is also Friday, November 15th. Yellow ribbon funding is also available as well. So USC Viterbi offers an unlimited number of yellow ribbon awards to eligible veteran and active duty candidates who are entitled to the 100% post 9/11 benefit rate. The VA will also match the amount provided by USC Viterbi. And for those of you who are veterans, we do also have the USC Show Family Scholarship for veterans. This is for USC Viterbi incoming and continuing graduate students. You are eligible to apply. You must be admitted and enrolled immediately in courses on a full-time basis and must have received an honorable discharge from the U.S. Armed Forces and served a minimum of 3 years continuous full-time while being active duty since 2003. For more information as well, we do encourage you to visit our website. Okay, so you might be thinking, okay, I have decided to pursue the Master of Science in Health Systems Management Engineering program. So, do you have any tips on getting started? So, the good news is that for those of you who are interested in being an online Dana Viterbi student, we can offer a application extension for spring 2025, as long as you do not require a student visa sponsorship, such as an F1 or I-20. If this does pertain to you, please submit your application for spring 2025 no later than November 15th. If you're interested in applying for fall 2024, or if you're interested or if you're an on-campus student and you're interested in applying to fall 2024, please submit your materials and your application by December 15th. As you can see, there is a asterisk that's indicated, and that does pertain, just in general, that a deadline extension for online Dana Viterbi students is available. So please email me at danaviterbi.usc.edu for more information on the application extension instructions.
Shouldn't that say
And
fall,
yeah.
excuse me, fall 2025? Or it says fall 2024?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Fall 2025. Sorry, Dr. Belson. Thank you for that. Fall 2025. At the top right, we do have some helpful links. And so that is for you to navigate. And the application itself can be found in the portal at the USC graduate application. And it'll take you to the Liaison CAS portal. And we always encourage you to review the application criteria page for the Health Systems Management Engineering. You can head over to that link on the slide, and then you can click on the application information, and it'll show you the application requirements. For those interested in taking classes on campus, at USC's campus, you can visit USC's campus virtually by heading over to that link over there. And you can also start your application for formal admissions. That website page is the same for those of you who are interested in being an online Dana Viterbi student. And if you want to start as a limited status student as early as spring 2025, you could also complete your Dana Viterbi profile. Okay, So I am going to open up for those of you who may have questions for Dr. Belson in regards to the program. Feel free to pop them into the chat. If you have questions about the application or admissions, I can go ahead and answer those. So feel free to pop those in the chat as well.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, if you have any questions, my email is here. Happy to answer questions later. Again, there's a lot of job opportunities in this area. It's also a worthy cause, improving healthcare, and the demand, not only is there a strong demand, but it's everywhere, both international and national.
Thank you, Dr. Belson. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you guys don't have any questions right now, hopefully it is because, Dr. Belson and I answered them all. Oh, okay, I did see someone that popped one in. It says, if you choose the online format, are you able to take more than 2 classes? Yes, you are more than welcome to take more than 2 classes per semester. So, the reason why we recommend taking no more than 2 classes is if you're working full time, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a working professional to pursue the online delivery method. So you're more than welcome to take more than 2 classes per semester. And if you take more than 2 classes per semester, then your graduation timeline will be shorter.
Yeah, it also depends on your location. I've got a couple students who are DEM students, but they attend, often they live not far from LA. I got another, well, one I was just talking to today in Seattle. She can't attend in person. So she's fully online.
Yeah, and I mean, just touching on that, Dr. Belson, we know of some students who are not working at the moment, but they just may be outside of the LA area, but they, are really passionate about this program. So then they are a DEN student. Um, and they take it from the East Coast, for example, because of the flexibility that DEN offers. So you did really, you highlighted a great point about that. And so I did see a question that came through. So, how competitive is the admission rate for this program? So, in general, for all of the Viterbi graduate programs, it is competitive, right? And we don't have any admission data that we disclose. But on general, if we're talking about the 40 plus programs that are offered online, the admissions rate is it's around like 40%, I would say, around 40 to 45. But this is across the board for all of our programs that are offered online. But we always encourage you, don't be discouraged. If you're interested in this program and you meet the requirements, please go ahead and submit your application. And the admissions team and Dr. Belson, will review your application holistically. So, don't be discouraged. And if you have any questions about your profile and whether or not you think that you are eligible to submit an application, please go ahead and schedule a phone call with me. And I'll be able to talk to you in more on a one-on-one basis. And you can email me at dan@turby.usc.edu, and I'll be able to share my Calendly with you and kind of guide you through the admissions process.
Oh, I'd also add, you're highlighting me, but I'm not the only person involved in this. There's other
Oh,
faculty,
yes.
engineering faculty, medical school faculty, business
Yeah,
faculty. So
yeah,
there's a variety of faculty involved with
yeah.
different backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it is everyone from the department, as well as the the graduate admissions team who does review the applications. Okay, so let's see if there's any additional questions. But thank you guys so much for your questions that are coming through. Again, if you don't have any questions at the moment, you could always email me at dan@tribute.usc.edu. But again, if you have any questions about the program itself, or you want to become connected with Dr. Belson, he has shared his email. And as I said, you guys will receive a copy of this presentation deck, so you'll be able to reach out to him afterwards. So I don't see any additional questions come through. So before I wrap up, Dr. Belson, I do want to see if you have any, last words to everyone who is joining us live or watching this as a recording afterwards.
No, I think we covered it in pretty good detail. Again, let us know if you have questions.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Belson, for your time in talking and sharing your passion of the Health Systems Management Engineering program. And for everyone who is joining us live, thank you again for taking the time. And we do hope you found it very informative and insightful. And we hope to hear from you soon. So stay safe and take care. And as we say at USC, fight on.